The year is 1345, and William IV of the country of Holland is dead. It became quite a problem because he didn't have an heir, and this caused quite some trouble in little old Holland, as succession crises often did. A lot of the times, especially in bigger duchies or kingdoms, this would be a big problem, because if the king doesn't have any children to succeed him, then who will lead the kingdom forward? Often if the king or duke had a sister or a brother, the title would likely pass to them, or as in the case of this story, to the king or duke's nephew or niece. And if they were unable to negotiate on a new ruler, the one with the most backing from the court or the one with the biggest army would force the opposition to give up their claims to the throne, or, be killed. And often this worked, and if it didn't, well, civil war it is then. Succession aside, back in Holland, the dead king's sister Margaret, Countess of, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, who was married to the Holy Roman Empire, was installed on the throne of Holland. And since she can't be everywhere at all times, she appointed her son, William, as her representative in Holland. But at some point something happened that made some of the nobility unhappy, and so they asked if Margaret could please return to Holland. Margaret then travelled back to Holland with the one goal of kicking her second son, William, now the fifth, off of the fancy throne of Holland. P.S. I'm not completely sure this is how it actually happened, but it sounds waterproof enough just to barely float, so I'm sticking with that narrative. And so when William and his supporters found out that Margaret was on her way back, they formed the Cod League. Cod League because Bavaria's flag kinda looks like fish scales or something, I don't know. And when Margaret and the noblemen found out, they established the hooks, because that's the thing you use to catch cod with. And so with smaller clashes between these factions already happening, everyone knew that a big clash between the two was inevitable. And when English King Edward III decided to join Margaret's cause and beat the Cods at sea at the Battle of the Coast of Veer, it looked as it was going to be over quickly. And so when the two factions finally met at the Battle of Vlaardingen, no one would judge you for thinking it would be an easy victory for the Hooks. But because history is always so goddamn unpredictable, the Cods somehow managed to beat the Hooks in battle, and with Edward III switching sides mere 2 weeks after the battle, Margaret gave up her own claim on the country of Holland and went back to Bavaria, where she died 2 years later. After her death, William V of Holland inherits the country of and Zealand, and because history is so goddamn unpredictable, he goes insane, killing one of his knights, and his younger brother Albert inherits the country of Holland, Zealand, and tiny bits of Bavaria, but nobody really cares about them. Albert technically isn't important to the Hook and Cod Wars, so I'll just talk about him briefly. So, during Albert's reign, nothing really bad happened. He improved Holland, he improved trade significantly, but the most interesting and kinda cool thing about him is when a mistress he loved got killed by some people from the Hook faction. Whether they were noble or not, I still don't know. And so in his anger he took castle after castle, killing and hunting down Hooks, as well as taking castles and some land from the Frisians, and he made his youngest son Prince Bishop of Liege. This scared even his son and heir William enough to leave the country in fear of his father, who when Albert died took the throne, didn't do much, and then died by an infection due to a dog bite, which has got to be one of the most anticlimactic ways to die in the Middle Ages. But one thing he did do, though, was make his nobles swear allegiance to his daughter, Jacqueline. By the way, finally a name that isn't fucking William or Margaret. The Cods backed John, and the Hooks chose to back Jacqueline. And when John later died, the war should be over, right? No, because the Cods backed Philip the Good, because Jacqueline's mother was Burgundian, and so Philip also had a claim on the throne. And so when Jacqueline was defeated after the Battle of Bovershaven, aka a Cod victory, she gave up all power over Holland, Zealand, and but was allowed to keep her title until she remarried without Philip's permission. The Hooks and Cods continued fighting one another, but this marked the conclusion of the Hook and Cod Wars. So what did these wars change, you might ask? To which I reply, well, nothing much other than paving the way for the Burgundian expansion into the Low Countries. Because the Cods backed Philium, that's gotta be the best one yet, Philium. To which I reply, nothing much other than paving the way for the Burgundian... Why is it so fucking hard to say Burgundian? Why?